Good morning. My name is Dr. Divya Pradhan and I'm going to talk to you about bone function. But even before we start, there are a few terms that we need to understand in regards to bone. Bone, as I said before, is a connective tissue made up of a rock-like extracellular matrix and bone cells. The osteogenic cell is a bone-forming stem cell that is found in some parts of the bone that form the bone and still persist in the some parts of the bone in an adult, and these are in the periosteum and the endosteum. The osteoblasts are the bone matrix forming immature young cells. When these osteoblasts mature, they form the osteocytes. The osteoclasts are the bone matrix degrading cells. They will eat up the matrix. No matter if the matrix is new or old, it does not matter. They will break down the bone matrix to return calcium to the blood. What are the functions of the bone? Support and protection. The bone supports the body and protects the inner vital organs. For example, the skull protects the brain, the ribs protect the heart as well as the lungs, the vertebral column protects the spinal cord. Movement. Muscles are attached to the bone, bones are attached to the bone, and when muscles contract, bones will act like levers and help movement. That is the reason we can grasp objects, we can walk, we can breathe. This is all possible because of the bone. Blood cell formation. The bone marrow, which is found inside long bones, is a hematopoietic organ because it has the ability to form all types of blood cells. RBC, WBC, platelets. It is a rich mineral reservoir. 70% of the matrix is made up of inorganic calcium and phosphate salts. So calcium salts like calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate. Not only is the bone, people think that it's like a dead tissue. It's not. It's a living tissue. So constantly there's a flux of calcium being deposited in the matrix and matrix being broken down so that calcium can be returned to the blood. Hormonal regulation of blood calcium. So this point is connected to the earlier point. Like I said, blood calcium has to be within a very narrow homeostatic range. If there is any fluctuation, it can cause either hyperexcitability or inability for the muscles to contract, along with various other problems. So it's really important that the blood calcium level remain in a constant, narrow, stable range. This is possible because the amount of calcium that is stored in the bone is under hormonal regulation because of two hormones, thyroid and the parathyroid. I'm going to talk about this point in my next slide more. But you need to understand that the blood calcium level is maintained primarily because of the action of hormones which act on the bone. Triglyceride storage. The bone also stores fat. The long bone, inside the long bone, the bone marrow is primarily yellow bone marrow and is a rich source of fat. Let's look at the hormonal regulation of bone calcium. Whenever the blood calcium level falls, then the parathyroid glands, which are found embedded in the thyroid gland, release a hormone called the PTH or the parathyroid hormone. The parathyroid hormone stimulates osteoclasts, which are found in the bone, that degrade bone matrix. It doesn't matter the matrix is new or old. It is going to be broken down so that calcium can be released into the blood and the blood calcium level rises. Now, when the blood calcium level is way up, way above the homeostatic level, then another hormone called the calcitonin is released by the thyroid glands, and this calcitonin stimulates osteoblasts that help to build the bone matrix and now lower the blood calcium level. Another hormone called the leptin, which is released by the adipose tissue, also inhibits the osteoblasts. Therefore, the bone matrix forming ability is suppressed. Now, the interaction of this hormone with osteoblasts is still being studied, but I just thought that was an interesting a hormone that I could talk about. Now, one last fact is that the bone also stores other growth factors like the insulin, like a growth factor. It also stores transforming growth factors. And it stores also bone morphogenic protein. Excuse me for my handwriting. So, along with other functions, it also stores these factors or hormone-like substances. So this can be studied in addition to the functions of the bone. With this, we come to the end of our short video, and I thank you for giving me your attention and time.